Hi, and welcome to Coffee with CASA. I'm Beth Lordy, and today I have a very special guest with me. It's one of our CASA advocate volunteers, Mel Butler.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
I'm excited to have you.
I'm honored to be here.
Yeah. I asked Mel to come in today because all of our Coffee with CASAs, you see all the staff rotating through and through, and we've had other special guests, but it's been a while since we've actually got to talk to a volunteer. And since the foundation of our program is with the volunteers, who better to hear what the experience is like than from someone who's actually doing the work? So, Mel, why did you become a CASA volunteer? How did you hear about the program, and out of all the many worthy programs in the community, why CASA?
So my sister, the first time I heard about CASA is my sister has been a CASA advocate for probably close to 10 years.
Okay.
In Faulkner County.
Okay.
So I first learned about it through her.
Mm-hmm.
And then a little over a year ago, my friend Elizabeth, she was like, hey, I really want to volunteer for CASA. Would you be interested in doing it with me? And I was like, yeah, actually, I think I would be interested. Like, it's a good cause, and I'd already kind of had some background with my sister doing it, and I was like, I think it would be a good fit. So, and also just having somebody to do it with you, I was like, this is probably the time I need to jump on that.
Sure, someone to go through training
Yes.
and everything. So it's 30 hours of training and then 6 hours of court observation. So
Yes.
I could see how having that friend or support system would be nice to bounce off what you're learning.
Yeah, we'd go to dinner or whatever, and then go to our training, made it a girl night. And
Oh, nice. I should have done that. We do have couples that do that as well. And I think it's so cute when, like either boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, or we've had even two wives come in, and it's just so adorable. They're like, this is our little date night. I'm like, that's awesome.
Yes.
So Mel, you actually kind of from training, you were very vocal that you wanted to specifically advocate for teenagers in care. Can you tell us a little bit why? Because usually people come in and they're not sure. They want littles, and our teens are often forgotten. So of course I love it being the teen specialist. But what draws you to the teens?
I think for me, so my kiddos are spanned. So I have one that's almost 20, and then my baby is 7.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, going through the ages with each of my kids, like I am at my best in those teen years.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can connect better with the teens. It's easier for me to probably put it in a box, I would say, than having to work with the littles.
Mm-hmm.
And having littles at home right now, and then having to advocate for littles.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like the teens were a better fit for me. In addition to that, my children are also, like my oldest does have special needs, and so I feel like with her, I have been in different situations and scenarios that could translate.
Sure.
So not that my teens are special needs, but they have special cases within them that I can pull from that kind of translate over.
Yeah.
So I feel like I kind of have more of a background for that.
Yeah, your skill set can be applied to teens. Well, anytime anyone wants to advocate for teens, I'm all for it, and I appreciate it. Now, you have been a volunteer for a little bit over a year, and you've had one case. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to tell us a little bit without going into breaking confidentiality, because that's the number one? What has it been like advocating for this teen?
I had my first case was siblings, and so I had a girl-boy sibling, and they're both awesome kiddos. The first one, she ended up getting adopted. It was a great day, and she's just doing awesome. The second kiddo is kind of a little bit more of a harder case. He, since in the year that I've had him, had like 5 or 6 placements. So he really needed more of my hands-on and more of my ear than she did. And so I just continue to just try to give him what he needs.
Yeah, be there for
Be
him.
there for him.
And what does actually advocating for him look like? Like, what is the day-to-day? Because we, as staff, we sit here and try to talk to the community members or people who are interested in volunteering. And I can sit here and be like, oh, make a phone call here or take a email here, but you're living it. So
Yeah.
what does that actually look like? What does any given day look like when you're working
So I
a
think
case?
it's important to know that we kind of take for granted what we know. So when you're raised in a family or you're raised around a group of people that you've been with for years, you get a lot of training that you don't actually know you're getting training with. So, and I think with the teens who are in the foster system and who are getting in placements, you know, on average 2 or 3 times a year, they don't have the stability of learning things. And so for me, for my teen, it's actually just picking up the phone, and all he needs me to do is walking through what his next steps are. Like, what do I do here? So he, this past year, graduated looking for a job. And so he doesn't know, like, what do I need to get a job? How do I need to interview? How do I need to make my doctor's appointments? Like, these things he just doesn't know how to do, where our parent or somebody in our family has taught us how to do these things, or we've watched them, you know? So, and sometimes he literally will just put me on the phone, put me in his pocket, and go about his day, because if he needs something like just to feel close to me, that's what he does. Like, if it's something that stresses him out, like I'll say, just put me on your phone, I'll be here, holler at me, and he puts me in his pocket. And so, I mean, sometimes it's just the easiest thing. That's all they need.
He just needs that lifeline.
Yes.
Yeah. It's so sweet. So how many hours in a month do you actually think you get? Because you're very busy. I mean, you're a mother, a wife, you're a business owner.
Yes.
I mean, you are busy. And so when it comes to people saying, oh, I just don't have the time to volunteer.
You do.
Mel is proof that you do.
Yes.
You work it around your life, right?
Yes.
So how many hours do you actually think you put into working your case?
I typically log around 20 hours a month, I would say. My husband and I own several businesses here. I volunteer at the Boys and Girls Club. I volunteer at my church. I volunteer at CHDC. And I volunteer with CASA. And sometimes that's just, you know, you don't have to say you have to put in an 8-hour day. It's just the little pieces that add up for these kiddos. Like, on your way to work, you can call the school and be like, hey, my kiddo needs his transcript. Or, you know, on your way back from work, you can call your kid and be like, hey, just checking in on you. So it's a lot of little stuff like that. Or just sending emails. Like, when I sit down to do my emails for work, if I have written down what he needs, then I'll just go on and do what he needs for his emails as well. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is fitting it within your schedule, and like you said, the little things add up to a total amount. I know when I volunteered, I did the same thing. It was on my way to work. I would make a call to DHS and check in with the caseworker, or send a text to the foster mom. It's so much easier to volunteer now with technology.
It really is.
You know, you don't have to, I mean, we're not bound by a landline, and we have email and text and phone calls, and you can even schedule text messages now. So,
which is awesome.
I know, it's fantastic. I think only Android users can do that. So, us iPhone users still can't. But I schedule emails all the time, so it's fantastic. Is there anything else that you think that you would like to tell anyone who may be considering volunteering, but who's just not sure if they can do it? I know you mentioned earlier having littles yourself and compartmentalizing, it's a little easier to work with teens. Has that been a challenge for you at all, being able to leave that at home? Or
I have had a few sleepless nights, not gonna lie, but yes, it does get a little stressful. I do have a great support. My husband's very supportive, but I think in the grander scheme of things, just the little bit of time that you can give these kids is worth it. Like, it really is worth it. Like, I don't think I would have not fully understood the impact that I have on this kiddo without actually volunteering. Like, I know I have a skill set, and I knew I could, you know, a little bit of help is better than no help. But the little bit of help that I would have thought could help has far exceeded what I thought it could have.
Yeah.
And, you know, and it was very eye-opening to me, because you you get into a system of just kind of surrounding yourself with the same people. And then whenever you kind of work outside your box a little bit, you find that there's things that you can do even more outside your box that that are helpful to people, to the kiddos, you know?
Yeah. I do want to, I want to elaborate on that. You said just the little amount that you have helped makes the biggest impact, and it really has. And I can attest, because I work with you on the case, so I see her work in action, and I wish confidentiality wasn't a thing, so we could just sit here and really dive into it and give you all the examples of your small actions have made such a huge impact in this child's life. Not only the other child who was adopted, but she's great and she has her family and she's rock solid, and she'll tell you that.
Yeah, she will.
But this other teen has really struggled, and but he's in such a place now that he feels confident because he has that support from you, and he knows he can call you and you're there for him when he needs you.
Literally, it's sometimes they just need one person that says, I believe in you, you can do this, you have the ability to do all these things, and that's all they need. And sometimes I'll just pick up the phone and be like, you're doing a great job, you know, because that's what he needs to hear. You're doing a good job.
Yeah. It's amazing. So just a small portion of your time can make a huge impact in a child's life. Training, I do want to ask you a little bit about training, because we get it seems daunting when you come in and interview and we're like, hey, it's 30 hours of training and 6 hours of court observation. But what was your training experience? I know you went through it with your friend Elizabeth, who is also another amazing advocate, so shout out to Elizabeth.
She's amazing.
But what was training like? Was it overwhelming for you, or was it, what was that experience like for you?
To me, it was not overwhelming. I kind of enjoyed coming in and learning different things. It was a learning experience for me, and I kind of thrive on that. So it wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad.
No.
Yeah. That's what we hear after. So don't let that time commitment scare you off in the beginning. And again, if you are interested in volunteering, you can go online to arcasa5.org or call our office at 479-8. I'll post it because I just went blank. I know the last 4 digits is 1195, but I can't remember if it's 8. I'm not gonna say it. Of course, I knew I was gonna mess up. But I so appreciate you being here with us today. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. We'll post this on Facebook, and you can ask us a question in the comments section. I'm sure you're willing to talk to anybody who has questions about what it actually looks like from a volunteer standpoint. And I just can't thank you enough for all you've done for our program and our kiddos, and we're so happy to have you and Elizabeth and all of our volunteers, and please stay.
And I would like to say, y'all are really helpful to work with. So I do want to say that y'all are so easy to work with, helpful to work with. If I get stuck, I know I can call you guys and pick up the phone. So it's an easy volunteer. It really is.
Thank you. So I say that all the time. The staff is here for you, but you hear it from Mel.
You really are.
We really are, because we want to support you. And I know I've said it before, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face, but we're here just as a support to you guys, but you guys are doing the real advocacy. You're the boots on the ground. So that's our whole purpose, is just to make it as easy for you as possible. So again, if you have any questions, just reach out. We hope that you come join our program and change a kiddo's life. And thank you again for being here.
Thank you.
If you would like more information about how to become a CASA volunteer, call this number 479-880-1195 or go to our website at arcasa5.org. Thank you.